Check it out. I'm sitting here playing my new ukulele, and I did all this custom wood burning work on it, and I want to talk to you guys about how I did it today. So again, this is Cigar Box Nation TV. My name is Shane Spiel, and where is my sponsor page thing? Here it is. Today, our broadcast is brought to you by cbgiddy.com. They're the guys that make these things. cbgiddy.com. Check them out. They got some great last-minute gift ideas for you guys. Christmas is coming. What do I need to say? We all know this. Check them out. Check them out. They got a lot of great things, including this. All of this. The CB Giddy new ukulele. You guys hear how good it sounds. Hey, Giddy just chimed in. How you doing, Ben? Thanks for joining us. Well, this whole kit comes sent in pieces of plywood like this. It's great sounding, but being that the kit is blank when you first get it, this entire thing is like a blank canvas to me. Whenever I look at this, I don't see just an instrument. I see what can I add to it. And for me, I like to do wood burning. And so I want to show you some of my little secrets for how I would burn art on here. Now, I did this one, like I said, the other day. And all the art on here is inspired by Keith Haring, the great artist from the 80s and early 90s. Did the apartheid poster. Did the Do They Know It's Christmas album cover. What was that? Band-Aid. And he did a lot of other things. But I love his artwork. My son turned me on to him. And I just did this whole thing right here. Henry Lohman, thank you for joining us. Thank you for sharing this. So I want to show you how I do this. Because quite honestly, people, I am not a good artist. And I use little tricks and cheats, and this is how you guys can do it too. What I do, whenever I would burn art onto cigar box guitars like this, is I start by printing out. I go on Google Images, and I find what I want to use, and I print it out on a piece of paper. With this one, I loved Keith Haring's Triple I Smiley Guy, and for me, I know how to use Photoshop, so I twisted some things around, I cocked it to the side, and I printed it out and cut it out to the size of my ukulele here. Now here's the key. Y'all remember this stuff, carbon paper. We all used to use these when we had typewriters and needed to make copies. Well, I get this stuff, and I take my artwork that I want to do, and I put the carbon paper behind it, put it down on here, and I trace around everything. And that's what gives me my basic image. And this is, you know, what I use for the face of this ukulele here. Ben Giddy just asked, do they still make carbon paper? Absolutely. Yes, they still do make carbon paper. And it's especially for people tracing images and stuff like this. So I think I found mine at Staples. I think you can find it online. Amazon, I'm sure, has it. Mike Perry, thank you for joining us. How you doing? Okay, so I trace it on there, and then I use my wood burning pen to do it. Now hold on. I'm going to show you some big things about wood burning. How many of us have gotten a wood burning pen? You know, the typical one that just plugs right into the wall. It takes 20 minutes to warm up. You start using it for a while, and it starts to cool down after you've used it. You got to let it sit. After 20-some years of it, I got tired of that, and I actually bought, I'm going to do a close-up here, I bought a professional wood-burning system. This is by Colwood, C-O-L-W-O-O-D, Colwood. Greg Francis, thank you for joining us. So this is the Colwood Detailer, and this whole thing, I mean, this thing cost me like $120-some, but quite honestly, it's worth it. Let me show you. It comes, you can change the pens, you can change the tips, okay, and have different tips for different styles. Now I have this blunt one on there, and let me get this back in here, and get in there. Oh, there it is. Yeah, how about that? Okay. Giddy said it looks similar to a high-end soldering station. Yeah, very much is. Let me show you something. What's so cool about this? Let me see. I will put... Nah, that's fine. Take a look at this tip. I'm going to turn it on. We know how wood burning pens take, 10 to 20 minutes to get hot. Take a look at this. You see that turning red? It's already ready to go. Boom, ready. This thing has a temperature gauge on here, so you can have it hot or medium. It depends on what you're doing. If you're doing leather, you don't want it as hot. For me, I like it at maxed out at 10. And okay, let me show you the next. I'm working on my second ukulele here. And I wanted it to look like the entire instrument was made from an old fruit crate. So I went on Google and I found a picture of an old fruit crate with lettering that I liked. And I mean, this picture was tiny, so I blew it up. As you can see, it's all smudgy and smeary. But it doesn't matter, because whenever I put it down here, the only thing I did was traced around the letters. And, all you're doing is tracing simply around the letters to make sure you hit everything. And when you're done and you pull the paper off and the carbon paper, you have, the letters on here. Now, what I did with this one was I wood burned everything except the letters, and it really makes it pop. So and the other thing I did, and I'm getting ahead of myself here, whenever I set this up to trace, I put the entire ukulele kit flat on a surface. I'm going to do a close-up right here. I put the entire ukulele kit flat on the surface, so it was all one piece. Then I took my art and a piece of carbon paper, and I traced everything out. When I pulled it off, everything was continuous around the instrument. And let me show you why I wanted to do that. Because whenever... Let me see if I can get this right here. Boom. Let's see. Nope, I did that wrong already. Whenever I finally put the ukulele together, and I got to be careful, because these things fit so nicely, but you don't want to force anything so nothing breaks. Just take your time, just like you would any other instrument. Get in there. All the pieces go like that. Quite honestly, these instruments are so easy to build. If you've got it like a teenager or even a preteen that you can help with, and you're looking for a Christmas gift, and I'm sorry, I should have pulled the camera out that way. If you've got kids to buy for that are like preteen or teenager, this is perfect for it. And yeah, Giddy just said it's snug for stability. Now, I had wood burned everything flat, or I planned everything out flat, so that whenever I'm done with this kit, and when I'm done with the wood burning, you see it like this, and then when you turn it over, everything just continues like it was done with one piece of fruit crate wood. So, that's the idea of this. Now let me show you how I did the wood burning on this. Tracing is one thing. Burning it is another. And right now, I've already got about 3 to 4 hours of wood burning in on this already. It's something I do at night. Basically, I'm a night owl, and Melissa and the kids will go to bed early, and I'll still be wide awake. So I'll come down here. This is my guitar working station in my home studio in the basement. And I'll come down here and work. So let's get into this. I want to show you what I did. As I started out by tracing everything, using the wood burning pen to trace everything that I used the carbon paper trace on. So the wood burning pen got me the edges, okay? To fill in this entire area, I'm sticking with the wood grain. And let me do a little close. I love this camera, Giddy. Thank you for buying me this camera. Okay. Jenny, thank you for joining us, and I'm glad you're loving this. What I want to do is the wood grain goes this way, so I just want to continually go with the wood grain. If you go against it with a wood burning pen, you get gouges, and sometimes it's a lot darker than other areas. And look at this. This pen is just so hot that you just gotta touch it and go with those grains. Now I am doing this entire thing and I'm wood burning all the negative space, which means this will be one big old brown, old time looking giddy lily when I'm done. And that's actually my intention. But having a professional wood burning station like this makes it so easy. Jenny wants to know where they can get this wood burning pen. It's Colwood, Colwood, and it's, oh, I'm sorry, I'm off camera. Woodburning.com. Woodburning.com is their website. So, let me see. Woodburning.com, Curtis. Check it out. And so, all I do is keep this going. It's going to cost you at least $120 for the detailer. I forget what I spent. I also bought some extra tips. But that wood burning system is so worth it. And I'm going to keep going like this. Now, I'm not going to do the whole thing. I mean, because it'd be like you guys watching paint dry. But here's the other thing. Okay, Greg found one on Amazon for $138. Very cool. And then there's the link from Giddy. I'm going to put the pen down for a second. Let me see. But if you've noticed, I've also done things where I've taken it darker down at the bottom here. And I've, let it lighten up a little here and there. I also did it with the lid. Like I have a lighter area right here. And that's just to give it that natural old-time look. But when this is done, I mean, you can only imagine how cool this thing is going to look when it's done. And it was easy. Again, it started out with me finding an image on the internet, printing it out on my printer, and placing it on here with carbon paper. These things, it's not hard. You got to have the right tools to make it enjoyable. But I think the other thing I really need to stress is that these little giddy lily ukuleles are not just ukes. These are blank canvases. So if you're an artistic person and you want to get into not just building a guitar, but like getting into the art of it, there's so much. I haven't even done the back of the Keith Haring one here. I did this just the top and sides and on the headstock. But having so much blank wood on here, you could, another idea is to put a thin coat of polyurethane on everything and then get oil paints. I'm guessing oil paints would be well, and then just do a whole painting on here. I'm sure pen and ink, depending on, hey Giddy, what do you think? Do you need to put a sealer on this first? Or what can you do for paint as on a raw plywood? You guys can chime in too. I'm really not sure on that. For me, like I said, I'm doing wood burning on here, but it's just a great idea. Quite honestly, these are the types of projects I like to do in the winter months when I'm not building guitars to sell. I'm sitting here doing it for myself, for my own enjoyment. Come down here, put some, jazz on, and just wood burn quietly. Giddy just said a light coat of matte shellac is a good base to seal it. So if you put, a coat of shellac on here, then you can paint over top of that shellac and then do whatever coating on top of that. Giddy said that he's done it with inks and magic markers. So it works that well. One thing that I know that they were messing with at CB Giddy was having one come out next year that's almost like an adult coloring book. I don't know where they're at with that. However, why wait? Go get a bunch of these kits now and just print out whatever you want to print on your computer and get yourself some carbon paper. So this is it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to continue to work on all the edges of this. There's even one edge that doesn't have any print on there. So what I'll do is just wood burn the entire thing brown. The back of it, I don't know if I want to sit and wood burn the entire back. I don't know. You know, as you're playing, nobody's going to see it anyway. So I may leave the back blank. I may sign my signature on there. That's one thing I do a lot with cigar box guitars, where if I make a guitar, I will sign the headstock with a pencil and then pick up my wood burning pen and I'll trace over my signature. That's how I hand sign my guitars. It's a great way, especially when you have a wood burning pen that burns so hot. You can do your own natural signature and just turn that pen on. Here, I'll show you. I'll do it right here. I've got a cigar box here, and I'm going to sign my name. This is something you guys need to remember. If you get one of these wood burning pens and you're making cigar box guitars, sign your work. You're an artist, okay? So suppose you had the headstock and it's this big. I'll sign my name small here. And I like to use mechanical pencils because they're nice and accurate. Okay, there's my signature, all right? Now check this out. I'll get the wood burning pen going, and we'll let that heat up. It only takes a couple seconds. God, you don't know how happy this makes me. For 20 some, actually longer than 20, for 40 some years, I've used wood burning pens. You know, the kind that just you plug in and you wait forever. To have something heat up that fast makes me a happy man. Okay, so I took a pencil and I signed my signature here. Let's pretend this is a cigar box guitar headstock or the back of a box that would become the body. Now I'm going to take my glasses off because I'm old and I can't see. And you go slow. You don't trace exactly the way you sign. You go with the wood grain and just take your time. Let me give you a close-up. How's that look? You guys see that okay? And I'm just slowly copying my signature. I don't have to start and stop where I did when I signed it by hand, because you just want this to have the right flow. And having a wood burning pen this hot, do you see how beautiful this is? It's so easy. All you guys who are building guitars, you need to be signing your work. I have a lot of cigar box guitars, probably one of the biggest collections in the world, and they're made by you guys. And it always bums me out when I get one and it's not signed, because you guys are the artists. Okay, Giddy thinks I'm Bob Ross. Happy little trees. Okay, there we go. Now, I would clean it up a little if this were a guitar, but let me take it full camera just to give you an idea. Look how cool that came out, and that's hand signed. So if, you know, I would actually clean up some of the little clumpy lines on here and just get even a finer point to touch it up. But you can't beat, you know, having your name hand signed burned into wood like this. Donovan said, you don't have a Star cigar box guitar yet. I said, and you're right. No, I don't. Not yet. Someday I will own one of everybody's. Just don't tell my wife. So there we go. I just wanted to show you my little details. To go over it again, whenever I would burn art onto a guitar, first I find the image, I print it out on a printer, I size it to fit the guitar, then I use carbon paper, put the carbon paper underneath this and trace it. That gives me my image, and I use my professional wood burning pen system to slowly just wood burn it in. The guitar is the CB Giddy Lely. And all you need to do is type in cbgiddy.com/giddylely. And get a bunch of these. If you guys have kids, if you have teens, or somebody like, even for a father that likes to tinker, this is the present to have this year. Between this and Giddy's new microphone kits, these things should be in everybody's stockings. So that's what I wanted to show you. I'm going to get back to working on this one. It may not be done this week. Somebody just asked, is there a pen to make it look like somebody writing on paper? Well, there's different tips. There's a tip with a chisel point like this. Let me see. There we go. With a chisel point like that. And I'll show you what this can do. Hey, if you're asking questions, I'm going to answer them. Let me see. Let me put the chisel tip in there. And okay, Giddy said, I think she was asking, how hard are you pressing? I wasn't pressing hard at all on that. I was just touching it. Now, it's still wood burning, depending on how hot you have it, is still going to be a little blotchy here and there, and it's just, you take your time with it. The chisel tip gets you an even thinner line. You can do, let me get it nice and hot. Show you how small the lines you can get with it. I mean, I was making these tiny little hashtag marks right there. The other thing is, it's got the blunt side that you can do for shading, and that's why you want different tips like that, But as I signed my name and Jenny asked how hard I was pressing, I was just touching this to it. It's so hot that all you need to do is touch to it, Doesn't take much at all. Now, granted, I wouldn't recommend spending $120 on a wood burning pen if you were not using it a lot. I use mine a lot. I use my wood burning pen to wood burn fret markers onto the necks of my cigar box guitars. Hold on, let me see if I have one right out here. Yeah, I got one right over here. Now, with this guitar, instead of putting the frets across here, I used a yardstick for the fretboard, but I put the fret markers on the side. And I used a wood burning pen to mark the fret marks right there. So as you're performing and you're playing, you look down at the neck and you can see where all the frets are. Other times, I will put the frets going the whole way across with a wood burning pen. It's just a great way. Oh, yeah. Check this out. Hey, CB Giddy sells these bridges, and this one I've whittled down a lot to fit on this guitar. This is one of his maple bridges, but in order to get the strings to fit in the string slot, I use my wood burning pen to slot the bridge right there. And it gives a nice, perfect place for the strings to go in. Somebody asked, do I shade my artwork? No, I'm usually just a black and white type of person. I don't do a lot of shading, but I'm also not a good artist. That's why. I'm a copycat guy. It was Keith Haring's genius that came up with this artwork. All I did was copied it. So I just sat there and just did line by line by line, no additional shading, no artistic flair because I'm not that good. If you're into like great artwork, get a good wood burning pen system like this. Do some practicing on it. The harder the wood, the more precise lines you're going to and have fun with it. But I've been building cigar box guitars half my life now, and I think it was now my first one I built was in 1993. I think it was like the third or fourth one I built. Was I already started using a wood burning pen to put the lines on for the neck. I when I was a little kid, my dad got me a wood burning system, and I used to do little signs for the clubhouse, for backyard clubhouse, and things like that. So using a wood burning pen on guitars was kind of like a natural progression for me because I'd been using one all my life. It's just a cool idea for you guys. So check it out. I am going to get back. I'm going to finish this up hopefully this week. Maybe by next week I'll have full pictures of the fruit crate looking Giddy Lele. And I'll be sitting here jamming on my Keith Haring. And now it's out of tune. There we go. My name's Shane Spiel. You're watching Cigar Box Nation TV. Stick around. Make sure you're signed up to the cigarboxnation.com email, which means become a member over there. We're going to be sending out what we're calling our 12 Days of Christmas. And there's going to be 12 cool different links, different things to get into in the next dozen days. We've got documentary, my 2014 documentary, Chasing Steam. We're hosting that on Cigar Box Nation, and that's the world's loudest acoustic concert. And there's a lot going on. Guys, we're just going to be giving you so much fun stuff in the next 2 weeks because you deserve it. You guys are the best, and just look forward to it. All right, well, I'm going to get going. I'm going to get back to some of this. Giddy will be doing the broadcast on Wednesday, maybe. If not, I may do it again. They're a little crazy up in CB Giddy land, getting all your orders out ASAP. Dana, thank you guys all for the comments. I'm sorry that I didn't get to say hello to everybody as I was talking. I'm just a blowhard. But thanks for watching. My name's Shane Spiel. Check me out, shanespiel.com, ShaneSpeal.com. And check out the Giddy Lele kits. Guys, this is a great present. This is the last minute gift right here. Make sure you go get one. I will talk to you guys soon. Bye-bye.